Welcome, everybody, to the Holistic Evolution Podcast. I practice that word evolution with Scott and Kelly, and I'm obviously Scott.
I'm Kelly.
That's us. That's us. I could probably make it easier if I could allow the names to pop up. Let me see. There we go. There we go. Now we got Scott and Kelly. That way you guys don't get confused, all right?
Good call.
Yeah. This podcast, Kelly and I came together for this podcast because my introduction into the holistic world of alternative and or, sometimes called Eastern, sometimes called different medicines, but there's all sorts of different ways to deal with issues out there beyond just standard Western medicine. And I think we need to explore those things. And we can obviously see by the crisis in addiction, the fentanyl crisis and everything else, we've become so reliant on pills that we'll put bad stuff in our bodies and not even think about it. It's time for us to make a change. It's time for us to open ourselves up to new things. And Kelly has got all of these things. And obviously nobody's got all of them, but you studied quite a few of these things. And we talked in the other shows about how you kind of got into it. But what is it that really lights you up about working with holistic medicine and in alternative medicines and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like maybe some people didn't watch our pilot episodes. So I feel like it's worthy of sharing again of how I came into finding everything because it just really lit my passion. I was 16 years old. I was in California and I was on a family vacation. My mom and I went into a store that had just these amazing essential oil scents. And this lady in a very flowy dress came over and said, "Hey, you know, what do you have going on?" And I said, "Well, I get headaches sometimes because I was playing softball at the time." And so she walked over to this particular blend and she got it off the shelf. It was in a roller ball. And she put it on my temples. I put some on the back of my neck and my wrists. And it was like peppermint and some menthol. And it just smelled amazing. And I was like, okay, well, next time, I'm experiencing a headache, I'll try this out. So fast forward a few months, I was in junior year of my high school. And my big high school football quarterback was next to me in algebra 2, and he had a headache. And he said, "Hey, anybody have any Advil and Tylenol? Anything? I have a headache." And I was like, "I have a roller ball of essential oils. Would you like to try this?" So after looking at me a little strangely, he did try it. And within 20 minutes, he did say that the headache went away. And I was just in awe that this little roller ball of peppermint oil could do the same thing that an Advil could do in my experience. And so I was just hooked from there. I was always obsessed with looking at whatever plants or natural remedies or anything that wasn't a pill could help us to support our system naturally without any side effects. And that's really how I got tuned in to that experience.
Now, it is entirely possible. I think we can all agree that the headache could have been caused by the fact that you were sitting in a class called Algebra 2. That is a headache to begin with.
Absolutely. Yes, that is.
So that might be the cause, but you did find a solution.
Yes.
Sandra Block, mom, is out there saying hi, Scott and Kelly.
No, that is so true. I wasn't born with the part of the brain that processes algebra. So yeah. There's no holistic remedy for that.
Nobody's born with that part of the brain. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. All my life, it's 2 + 2 is 4. And then somewhere along the lines, they say, let's add letters. What's wrong with you people? Come on.
Exactly.
That's not math. Now you're just going to screw it up by adding English and math together. 2 of my worst subjects. Those are the only subjects that matter. But anyway, yeah, absolutely. But I'm going to make a mention right now that it has come to my attention that it is possible that our Facebook feed, although you are watching it on Facebook, the comments are not going to make it to us. There is some sort of broken thing in the system. They're trying to fix it, but we cannot see your comments. So here's what we're going to do. If you have a question or comment that you would like, text it. You can text comments. We will answer the questions. This goes right to my phone, and I have it right here, and I'm ready to deal with any questions or comments. 315-882-0377. Now, if you're on YouTube, we are receiving the texts and the messages and the comments, but not on our Facebook channels. And that is just a broken piece on our streaming system. So it's got nothing to do with us, something out of our control. But if you want to make a comment, I'm going to leave that up there, 315-882-0377. 0377, because I see we got people out there watching, but we'd really like to hear what you're thinking and if you have any questions for us. Now, Kelli, so you've been doing this holistic practicing, I guess we could say, for how long now?
I first started feeling energy that I didn't realize was energy coming out of my hands when I was about 20. Hey, Karen.
And that's a Facebook comment, so that's a good sign.
Right,
all right, good.
A good sign. That's fantastic. So about 22 years ago, I started to kind of feel something kind of tingling in my hands and didn't really know what it was. And about 22 years old, I started to realize what Reiki was and really went down the road of energy healing. And then I became a massage therapist about 19 years ago and combined Reiki healing with energy with massage therapy, and then created my own Reiki massage. So I would combine the two and do like a 2-hour Reiki combined with massage. So it takes you even deeper into relaxation.
That is awesome. A massage where you don't even have to touch people. I love that. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You do a combination of the best of both worlds, which actually you see that more and more in different areas. With trauma therapy, we see things like people are mixing tactile stimulation with EMDR, and they're creating different types of trauma therapies. So to mix modalities like that, it's kind of a fun way to kind of like see how can I raise the energy level a little bit, right?
Yeah, it's just great because, sometimes when you're really tightly wound or we're experiencing a lot of stress. Oh, I love Danette. Hi, Danette.
Kelly's amazing.
Experienced it.
You know what, Danette? Scott's not bad too. Thank you. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Yes, he'll massage your feet. He loves feet. Hey, Dan.
Dan.
Good to have you.
All right. Thanks for joining us. And of course, Karen and everybody.
Yeah, so it's just great because when you're in a lot of stress, it's really hard to kind of like sink into relaxation. And so when you're removing and kind of dissolving the tension through massage therapy and then adding the energy healing together, oh my goodness, you get to go so deep. And I really like to get my clients to go into really like a deep brainwave so that you almost feel like you're like not there, but you are there kind of feeling. And so that's when the really deep healing takes place. And there's no resistance, right? Because you're in that really beautiful state of receiving.
So let's talk about some of these really basic things, first of all, and try to take it to the next level, if you will. Because I think that I had to learn a lot. For me, I thought massage was simply, that's what you do after you get done with a day of skiing. You go to the lodge, you get a massage, and it's all about just letting your muscles get loose. There's so much more to massage than just about the muscles. It detoxifies. It does a lot of things. Just tell us some of the things that a regular, without getting crazy, just a regular massage can do so many healing things, right?
Yeah, and that's a really good point. I should also mention that the type of massage I do is like a specialty. Every massage therapist has their own, like a snowflake. Everyone has their own preference for how they like to treat, which is beautiful. Some people really need deep tissue massage after you've been skiing all day. Some people really need very soft, very gentle relaxation massage because they just really need to de-stress. So and everything in between. So yes, do any research that you would like on massage therapy practices, but generally, yes, it's relieves stress. It improves circulation. It helps with muscle tension. It helps with pain relief. It helps to be able to dissolve kind of trigger points or very tight spots in muscles that cause headaches, tension headaches, especially. We get very like locked in the back of our occipital, right? Like right at the back of where your neck meets your head. And when you do like a traction hold or something along those lines to help release that, oh my gosh, it feels amazing.
Yeah, it also helps a lot with a lot of people do it because it helps with flexibility too.
Mm-hmm.
It helps keep things a little bit looser and a little more flexible. If you enjoy just even going out and playing a game of golf, having a regular massage can help with your flexibility and your movement as well.
For sure.
Danette, thank you very much. Scott's great too. Yeah, thank you very much. I don't pay people to say this. No, I do. Checks in the mail. Kelli's massages are so relaxing and healing. And that's what you want to hear. It's not just about the relaxation. It's about that healing moment where people get up and they actually don't just feel more relaxed, but they feel healthier when they're
done. I love when you
right?
can kind of see the tension melt from their face and they emerge from the room a whole new being. It's beautiful.
Now, are all massages created equal? Can I go to the strip mall and get a $20 massage and expect to get the same experience as a practiced practitioner like you?
You know, it's interesting. I mean, you know, first to speak into like how we each value ourselves, right? Like how we set our pricing. But yes, I mean, you know, it is a very different experience. Typically the strip malls are potentially Asian run, which they do an amazing, like very vigorous like shiatsu massage, and it's very deep tissue, and you know, they're kind of it's intense. And sometimes again, that's what you need. So it just kind of depends. But yeah, I mean, the way that different places as far as like spas go versus, you know, independently run places for massage go, they're going to vary in price, but just kind of go where you feel like you can connect with like the energy of the space, you know, call the person, call the practice up and just kind of ask some questions that make you feel more comfortable. And they should be trained in being able to ask you questions back and answer your questions properly to help get you the best therapist for you, for what you need.
How important is that to have that space that you feel good in, as opposed to like a room that just feels kind of nasty? How important is that? And how important is it that you actually enjoy spending time with the massage therapist?
Yeah, I think it's really a paramount aspect because, you know, if you're not comfortable with the therapist or in the space, then it's almost pointless, right? Like you don't want to add more stress to yourself. But yeah, I think that it's really important to just be asking questions. You know, we are trained to be able to help. Like we want as therapists to help you get the best match for you. You know, I actually will, at 19 years of doing this, I will turn people away and refer them to someone else. I've done it several times because if they're, you know, like the magic words for me are, they need such deep tissue that you can't go too deep. And I'm like, oh, that's not my wheelhouse at all. You know?
Right. Yeah.
And so I want them to have a great experience. And so I send them to the therapist in the next town who goes so deep, she won't do her like deepest on your first session because she wants to make sure you can take the pressure. And so just find people who are ethical like that, who are going to, you know, really consult with you and help guide you to exactly what you need.
Tom Jin is with us.
Hey,
Tom, thanks for joining us. Appreciate you being here.
For being here.
It's important too that you have full disclosure about your physical injuries or pain.
Yes.
If you've got back issues or you've got arm issues or shoulder issues, you don't go to a massage therapist and expect them to just know something's wrong. You need to tell them because you could cause injury if you're not aware of certain issues, right?
Yeah, the intake process is really important. You know, no surgeries within 6 weeks, and make sure you let us know if you've had any broken bones in the last 2 years, and, you know, any blood thinners, that's important too, because you could bruise really easily. The level of pressure too is also, you know, important because certain medications kind of don't lend themselves well to that. Also, please don't be on any sort of muscle relaxer and go see your massage therapist. We have to turn you away because we can accidentally hurt you because you're not feeling any pain. So please don't.
Daniel says the video is choppy for me. Is it just me? I'm not getting any indication. It could be just something in your area. It could be just something in the translation. Hopefully it'll work itself out there, Daniel.
Maybe sign out and back in, see if it helps.
A little bit choppy, or you might want to switch to like the YouTube channel or something. But no, yeah, sign out and sign back in. We'll just sit and wait for Daniel to come back.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Oh, it's better right now. Okay, as soon as we started talking, we had to send some energy into the video.
Yeah, it was just magical.
Now let's talk about that. What you just did, Dane.
Sure.
I'm going to tell you the truth, and I think a lot of people will agree with me. I mean, a lot of people weren't born into this like I believe in these things. It's like something you experience, and then like your story, you weren't into all this stuff. You just tried something, and it's like, holy crap, that works, yeah. And you get attached to it. Things like Reiki always like were kind of like that weird thing for me. Now, I've always been the kid to sit there and I'd go like this, and I would feel the energy between my two hands, and even just doing this like this, I could feel it's almost like a ball, and then I could feel it, and it's really strange. But I thought that was just me being a strange kid, and a strange adult. it just keeps going. But how does that work? I mean, how's the best way to describe what Reiki is doing when you're putting your hands in somebody's area and is it, for lack of a better word, you're exchanging energy? I mean, please tell us exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah, you really don't want to exchange energy, actually, but that's a really good question, because I imagine a lot of people think that too in the initial phases. So the chakra system is an ancient system where they say that we have 7 main energy centers. There are more. We don't need to get into all those today, but there are more. But the 7 main energy centers go from the base of the spine all the way up the middle of the body to the crown of the head. And so when these energy centers are kind of off balance, or they're like sluggish, or they're feeling kind of, or even if you're feeling that way, if you have some sort of imbalance, or you're experiencing like this dis-ease in the body, then the chances are that something just kind of doesn't feel right. So Reiki energy actually channels universal life force energy that is all around. So it's like source energy, anything that you feel like you're, as far as creation. So if you want to call it God, if you want to call it source energy, if you want to call it all there is. So the Reiki practitioner is kind of just connecting into, through intention, source energy, and allowing source energy to come through the practitioner. And our hands are around each chakra, and we're directing that universal flow through us. So we're not really actually doing anything, but we're trained in how to allow it to be channeled through us. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. I'm just curious, is when you're doing it, what do you physically feel when you're doing a Reiki session?
So I think for everyone, it's probably a little bit different. I'll tell you exactly what I feel, because it's developed over time, which is fascinating to me. So sometimes I see colors, with eyes closed. Sometimes we see colors. Sometimes we see images. Sometimes I see nothing. But a lot of times, because I'm more sentient, like I believe that we all have gifts. I believe that we, as we develop them, they just become stronger. But I do believe that we all have some level of the clairs, clairaudience, clairsentience, clairvoyance, is probably one that we're most familiar with. And so I identify most with being able to feel things. So sometimes I'll see stuff, but mostly I feel. So what I'm feeling is I'm sensing if there is any sensation that's different. Is there more cold? Is there more warm? Is there a tingling sensation? Is there no sensation whatsoever? And so the other processes that I've actually learned that are my body's way of shifting the frequency of the energy in that chakra is it comes through a yawn for me oftentimes. So when an energy, like, so in massage, think when tension dissolves from a muscle, it just feels a lot more like squishy. It feels like more, you can lift your head higher. So in that kind of sense, for me, Reiki, when I yawn, the energy shifts. And so I start to feel like more openness in that chakra, in that person's chakra system. I feel more alignment. It just feels like there's more quiet. There's more peace. There's not like, like I'm attuned now to, like, if there's a lot of chatter, I know that, the crown chakra is probably super kind of shut down when we're like in our head a lot. And so there's just like this peacefulness that starts to come over. And the more I yawn, the more peace. The other experience that I have developed over the years that I've noticed that is actually was verified by one of my practitioner friends is I burp. And when I burp, that tells me.
I always feel better when I burp, I'll tell you.
And by the way, it's silent. I don't do
nothing,
it out loud.
Oh, well, you got to have some fun with it.
Yeah.
And ladies and gentlemen, all funny stuff aside, nothing burps better than bacon. I'm just letting you know that. It just doesn't. But go ahead, Kelli.
All sentiments are not shared on this podcast. Give Scott the bacon.
Yeah, it's mine.
But yes, no, the burps are actually silent.
All right.
But it actually translates into that there's like a stuck energy. Like there is an energy in there that's so deep that you haven't been able to release, that it poof, like goes very quickly. And that's why it comes in versus a yawn into like a burp, because it's faster to like push out. So that's how that releases for me. Everyone's different.
So when would it be appropriate for me to seek out and try like a Reiki situation? What's an appropriate thing? Like, I know if my back is sore, yeah, let me go check out a massage, or I'm feeling tense, or I just can't seem to relax. I can't seem to, or I feel like, you know, I mean, everybody gets that kind of out of alignment feel where it's just like, I just don't feel quite right. I just need somebody to kind of manipulate me back into the person I'm supposed to be, you know, a little bit of clay work there. What would be a situation where I'd say, God, you know what? Maybe Reiki is a good answer for this. So what situations would that be?
So many things.
So many things, yeah.
It can be pain. It can be, you know, actual physical discomfort in the body. I just had a client in yesterday who'd had a spinal fusion, and we just did Reiki and a little bit of light massage on her like lower legs and feet. And boy, did she come out of that room and look so much different, so much more relaxed, so much more in her body. It was very heartwarming. And actually I got a text from her today and she said how much better she was feeling. So
that's fantastic.
It was huge. And I didn't even touch her back because it's too soon. Like after the surgery, like we didn't even touch her back, and she was feeling better.
Now, massage is the kind of thing where I can like get a little massager, and, you know, I've got a sciatic problem in my leg, and it's the kind of thing where it's like, you know, everybody's, oh, do this stretch or do this exercise and do that. It's like, I can do all of that stuff. And if you do have a sciatica running in your family, if you have sciatic issues, it's going to pop up no matter what you do once in a while. And it's about, how do I manage it? How do I deal with it when it pops up? And I found this little massage gun that I could run down my leg, kind of start pretty much at the butt, go down the side of the leg, go towards the top of the knee, then go down. Oh, don't do it directly on your kneecap. But that's a no-no. I found that out the hard way like 3 times. But I found ways, okay, that releases that. So that's, to me, a really good indication that massage is a good therapy to use. Are there any things that somebody can do at home to kind of experience a little bit of that, the energy of Reiki on their own, so they can just kind of like just test the waters, if you will?
You know, back to what I was saying, we all have gifts. And we are all very capable of our own healing. It's just sometimes it's easier to go to a practitioner. Like I can massage my own arm, but it's much more enjoyable when someone else does it because you're in a passive state. But absolutely, you can. I mean, the Native Americans used to teach on how, like, actually the first show when you mentioned like stubbing your toe. So that when you stub your toe or you have any like impact like that, like especially, you know, banging a finger or something like that, it's a little bit easier to do. The energy just kind of like rushes in because it's trying to heal you. And then if you can just kind of go like move the energy around, just kind of shift it like this, like real fast around your toe. It's amazing how much it helps. I know it looks so dumb, but it's crazy. Like it just breaks up the like density energy that starts to like rush in. And it's almost instant that you like break that up and it feels better.
Well, it seems to me like that's almost automatic, because I have hit my thumb with a hammer once, twice, or every time I use a hammer. and the first thing you do when you hit your thumb, you don't go, oh my God, and do this. You go, ah. Yep. It's like you shake it because there's so much rushing there. It's like you need to dispense it. It's almost, you've got to disperse it. I mean, not dispense it, but disperse it. Yeah. So is that like a clear indication of what we're talking about?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the body knows exactly what to do. That's a perfect example. And so, yeah, just think if it happens to your toe, same thing. It's hard to do that with your toe. So you just do that with your hand over your toe. Try not to hit your toe again. I've done that before.
Shake it around, then hit it again. Oh, nice. Like, if it wasn't snapped off before, it is this time. That's good.
Yes. Try not to hit it. But yeah, no, and you're absolutely right too, because, you know, there's so many applications for Reiki, and that is another one. But there's just different times when you're going to want more vigorous energy disbursement versus more concentrated, like calming energy and with the chakras. And so to answer your question again too, that yes, Reiki is amazing for pain relief, and also it's amazing for stress relief, and also it's amazing for if you've been through. So you know how like when your back really hurts, you don't really want anyone to touch you, like when it's like if you've thrown it out, or if it's something really intense where you're like in like agonizing pain, you're just like, I don't even want a massage right now because it doesn't feel good. So similarly with things that could happen that are very like intense emotionally, you may not necessarily want to go and have energy healing done yet. You want to kind of like process and assimilate. But once you get to that point where you just were like, I just need an extra added kind of space to be able to process everything, then Reiki is amazing. And you can do it in person, you can do it distance, and energy is all that we are. So it translates both ways.
All right. I'm getting a message that the video is not working, so I'm double checking that while we speak here.
Sure.
Because it's very important that we have this working for people. Sure. Unfortunately, not everything is in our control, and when you're working with Facebook and other things, we just want to make sure that everything is working. So I'm taking a quick look here, and from what I see, there seems to be a technical error. However, I think we are still good on YouTube. If somebody could let me know if you're watching on YouTube, if we're still rocking and rolling there. And just got on with YouTube. Okay, excellent. So the YouTube is still working. There is a problem with Facebook over the last few days with the communication with different podcasts. We're not the only ones experiencing. So you can watch us on YouTube, and then we will repost this in its entirety on Facebook later on. We'll do that. But and also, 22. What's that?
And Channel 22.
And Channel 22 up in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Up in Jersey, yes. Speaking of Jersey, why don't we take a quick moment, because, you know, I am not afraid to self-promote. I will be in New Jersey on November 16th. There it is, you know, just between me and the beautiful Kelli there. November 16th from 8:30 to 4:30 at the New Jersey Motorsports Park. We will be having a full training for our event intervention course. If you want to get involved, if you want to be a part of a solution to help with people with addiction and even mental health issues, this is the class to take. You can become nationally certified as an interventionist. Karen Hurley and I will be there. It's a one-day course, and at the end, you take the test and you become certified. If you are a first responder, there are seats available for first responders at no cost to the first responder. The cost is minimal anyway. It's $275 for the whole day. We give you some snacks in the morning. We give you lunch in the afternoon. We have sponsors that bring in lunches, but it's only $275. But if you're a first responder, that is covered by donations from our sponsors to help to make sure the first responders have all the tools they need to deal with addiction, both in their ranks and out in the communities. So please, if you'd like to get involved, if you'd like to attend November 16th, please let us know right away, because once the seats start filling up, that's it. We're only going to have so much room. 786-514-0893. That's 786-514-0893. Call Karen and reserve your spot for our training in New Jersey. We're going to be pushing this pretty hard in the next week to start filling up the seats, but we're excited about coming up there. And I get to spend time in my old stomping grounds in Millville. And I'm looking forward to it, Kelli.
Yeah.
It's going to be so much fun.
Heck yeah. You get to see the leaves change and all sorts of goodness.
And I mentioned to your dad, I want to go here and eat this. And he goes, no, they're not open anymore. Well, I want to go here and I want to go check this place out. No, they're not open anymore. It's like, I've been gone for too long. It's like, now I got to find new places and new things.
Yeah. Over a decade. Yeah. We'll help you out. But yeah. And so how is this intervention training different, Scott?
You know, the intervention training is different from what people might know, because the intervention is so cumbersome in many ways. The stuff you might see on TV with intervention and the different models of intervention where you get the whole family involved and there's letter writing and there's time spent. If somebody calls and says, my son has got an addiction problem and he's using drugs, he got arrested, he's in a lot of trouble, If you call an interventionist with a standard process intervention, they will schedule an appointment to talk to you. They will schedule appointments to talk to other family members. They will gather friends. They will work with you guys one-on-one and then as a group and do some rehearsals. By the time they sit in front of the client, it could be 4, 6, or even 8 weeks later. Well, during that time, this person is still putting drugs in their body. We can't afford that. We can't afford that. Every time they're putting a drink or a drug in their body, they're taking a chance that it's going to be the last time. And with fentanyl in the mix, all bets are off, people. All bets are off. I've lost too many people that I care about to this. We can't wait. If you know somebody's got an addiction problem, you got to act now. That's what our intervention teaches you. Our intervention teaches you a one-on-one interaction with somebody. Think about in your life, how many times you've had a one-on-one conversation with somebody that changed the course of your life. Somebody brought something to your attention or lit a fire in you with an idea they had. That's what this is. This is about one-on-one and helping somebody. To say that I know that Bobby's got a problem, but I'm not going to deal with him now, is like walking across a bridge and seeing somebody about to jump and saying, if you're still here after I get done having lunch, I'll help you, but I'm going to go eat lunch first. Nobody would even think of doing that, but that's what we do when we wait. If you know somebody's got an addiction problem, the only time to act is now. And the only way to do that with any kind of accuracy and confidence is to be trained so that you know what to say and how to say it and how to act. And that's what we teach you guys. And since it's all broken down to a simple one-on-one conversation and how you present yourself and how you present the information, we could teach it in one day and we could teach it affordably. If you got certified in any other intervention course, you're going to spend thousands of dollars and spend weeks of work. This is a one-day course so that you can immediately start having an impact in your city, your community, your neighborhood, your families, and your workplaces. You could have an immediate impact. And that's what we're looking for. That's what we're looking for. We can't save everybody, but you know what? If we're not trying to save everybody, then what are we even doing? That's my 2 cents, Kelly.
And Scott won't give himself his own accolades, but he gets really high scores for this course, and everyone gives glowing reviews. He is just so beautifully engaging and on a very challenging subject.
And Karen and I, my business partner, Karen, I've known Karen for 42 years. We've been best friends and business partners for a very long time. And we built this with the same idea. And she brings in her knowledge of everything from brain and body chemistry and trauma and those kind of things, and brings her knowledge to the course. And I bring my dynamics and communication and my knowledge of how to connect with other people. And we put those two things together and we go back and forth, and it's all day. It's not listening to one person. We go back and forth. Karen and I, we tag team this thing, and it is fabulous. I love doing it, and I love seeing the reaction of people when the light comes on and they think, now I know what to do. Now I know what to do. There's nothing worse in this world than to lose a loved one to addiction and think, I didn't know what to do. I had no tools to help. We've got the tools. Let's all get on board and help each other. But that's on November 16th. Again, one more time, I'm going to tell you that if you would like to book a spot, call Karen at 786-514-0893. We accept credit cards. We can accept payments on the spot. You can pay ahead of time. We'll work it all out. It's all very easy to do. Our idea is not to make this difficult. It's to make this accessible for everybody. Okay, so that's what we have coming up. Now's I think I think we've talked about a few things that are just kind of like, really kind of that getting our feet wet and stuff.
And too, I do want to say, based on what you just shared too, I want to say that how important it is that if you're hearing this and you're in a space mentally, emotionally, even physically, where just getting out of bed is like the best accomplishment of your day, do not feel like any of these suggestions or any of these modalities or anything that we discuss is like, oh, if I could only do that, like, then I would be like a whole happy human. These are just things to support you. But sometimes like our nervous systems are just so overwhelmed and so taxed that literally just sleeping is perhaps like the best healing modality possible. And so I really want to give voice to that because I have been there. I have been in a space where I didn't care what other modalities were out there. I didn't care what other healing natural remedies were out there because the only thing I could do was like the next thing in front of me, like changing the roll of a toilet paper. Like that was it. Like that was the accomplishment for the day. And I really want to acknowledge people in that space because that can be like very heavy.
Absolutely. You know, asking for help and trying new things is difficult for people. I you know, to simply say, listen, if you've tried other things, why not try something different? Kelli, do you invite people to contact you to ask about things like Reiki and massage? I mean, do you want people to ask you questions?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. We can definitely have a consultation. I know, you know, even though I'm not necessarily trained as an acupuncturist, I know enough about Chinese medicine and enough about all different healing modalities from studying it in school, all the introduction to naturopathy, feng shui, to homeopathy. You know, there's so many different things. And the cool part about my gifts is that I'm very intuitive. And so as I kind of get a chance to speak to you and see what it is you're experiencing, what it is you'd like to accomplish, what it is you'd like to have in your life, what it would like to look like, I can kind of guide you into what feels best. So that's kind of fun. Yes. Quinn.
Yeah, and they can get a hold of you. They go to quinn.abmp.com, and that'll lead them to all of your services and how to get a hold of you and do all of that, right?
Yes, that has the distance Reiki and spiritual mentoring, but it also has my email address and phone number. Feel free to contact me for any further information on anything we talk about here.
There you go. There you go. Now, we're going to talk about, actually, we're at that kind of time in the show. And I realize, again, if people are watching the show and they're getting frustrated because we might on Facebook, we may be going in and out. Unfortunately, that's not something that's in our control today. But it is not something that's been a problem before. We're hoping it won't be in the future either. But sometimes those things just happen. We're going to go ahead and we're still going to, because we do have YouTube listeners and we do have some Facebookers still alive out there, it looks like. I'm not sure what the hand thing is. What is that?
Hi.
Is that
hello?
Oh, that's a wave?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know. These emojis. I don't. Okay. Once you get past happy face, I have no idea what any of them mean. I'm just... We're going to do a little something. Now, talk to me about this distance Reiki thing and explain what we're going to experience here. You're going to do a little something with everybody.
Do you want to do it?
We did it last week, and some people might already know, but in case they weren't here last week, let's tell them, what are they about to experience and what is it that it's actually happening?
Oh, sure. Did you want to do the experience part at the end, or do you want to do that now?
It's up to you. We're gonna head. Well, tell them what you're gonna do, and then we'll do it.
Okay.
Then we'll do it. Because we're at that time. We're actually at the 40-minute mark. So this is the right time to do that.
Perfect. Yeah. So my first introduction to Reiki was hands-on, and it was incredible. And my experience with giving Reiki was always hands-on as well. I eventually ended up meeting an energy healer who lived in a different part of where I lived. And so I started to get introduced to distance energy healing. And, you know, like anyone at first, I was kind of skeptical. And the first session that she and I had, I was in Florida, she was in New Jersey, and there was a ceiling fan above my head when I was on the phone with her. And this was 2004. This was before video chat. You know, we were just on audio. And she asked me, what's above your head? And I looked up and I saw a crystal hanging from the ceiling fan. And I was like, whoa. I said, you know, there's a crystal hanging from my ceiling fan. She says, it needs to be cleansed. That's kind of like clouding your space. And I was like, whoa, that was pretty incredible to experience. So that was, for me, that's what helped me realize like, oh, this stuff is actually very powerful. And then we would do distance healing work, and it would be like, I felt like I was right there with her in the room. And so that just deepened for me over the years. And as the Reiki energy, the healing energy has become stronger within me, now I am also able to, through my hands, send distance energy healing. And so we wanted to kind of be able to give you guys a sample of that.
Excellent. I do have to answer this quick question because Danette was asking, does the interventionist training help you to help those with mental health and not addiction? Absolutely. Anybody who is in a crisis situation with mental health or addiction, and the two are very closely related, and they're handled in very much the same way, it does help with that as well. And we do address that in the course. We do talk about that. So it's all about communication and stuff. But I just wanted to answer that while she was still with us. And let's get forward. Are we going to actually, what do you want? What's the setup for this so that we can get started here, Kelly?
Sure. So go ahead and sit back in your chair, relax. If you want to lay down, you're welcome to do so. What it will look like on the screen is just myself with my eyes closed, sending Reiki energy healing through my hands. And you'll hear some music. When the music ends, then the Reiki will continue, but I will come back and we'll continue wrapping up the show and answer any more questions that you may have. So go ahead and lie down, sit back, and take 3 deep relaxing breaths. Nose, exhaling slowly through the mouth. And if your eyes aren't already closed, go ahead and gently close your eyes and lean back and receive. And go ahead and take one more deep inhale through the nose. Exhaling slowly through the mouth. And open your eyes and come back into the room. Welcome back.
Oh, that was awesome. I hope somebody experienced some stuff with that. I know last time you did it, people did.
It was really cool. I had somebody reach out and say that they were kind of like rendered too relaxed to go do the sport that they were going to do after the podcast. So yes, always listen to your body.
Yeah. We got to thank you, Kelly.
Thanks, Danette. She's also trained in Reiki and she's amazing.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah, she's awesome.
That's incredible. Now, there's so many other things that we want to get to talk to, and we will in the coming weeks. We were going to do a thing about some CBD oil. We're going to save that for next week because we've actually gone up to our 45 minutes already, just talking about some of the basics. And I think we're kind of getting past that a little bit. I'm hoping to bring in one of the things that I've seen is in addiction treatment and mental health treatment. I've seen the introduction of holistic modalities come in, but I've also seen them go away. And the reason they go away is because insurance companies are still not looking at these things as modalities that they'll pay for. Not all of them. Some of them, yes, but not all of them. Hey, mom, my mom's sending out a thank you to you as well, Kelly.
Sandy.
You know, is that something that you think is ever going to change? Do you think that they'll start to accept some of this stuff as because there is evidence that it does what it's supposed to do? In fact, sometimes more so than some of the medications they're releasing onto the market. Do you think there's ever going to be a point where they're going to accept it fully in mainstream medicine?
I think Tom had a good point last show and, was saying that you kind of have to follow the money, and there's definitely some, nefarious energies kind of at work here. But I like to believe that, it will be the kind of thing that will be we'll have so much education on it, and then we'll have so many experiences with it that eventually humanity will start to demand this as being the way that we treat and the way that we experience. Because I mean, you can see in, the grocery stores how demand has brought more organic produce, more organic options. So I think that it's just a matter of time. I'm hoping that, we as a society go, drugs, surgery, they're not our first choice anymore. Like, let's go back to the basics, and let's go back to nature.
I agree. And if we don't have enough evidence that what we're doing isn't working, look around you. Look around you. We're an addicted society. We are always reaching for the wrong thing at the wrong time. Again, it's rare you go to a doctor's office these days where he doesn't walk into the room with the prescription pad already in his hand before he's even talked to you. This is just kind of the way of things. It's not the way things should be. There's a lot of other alternatives out there. We are medicating the hell out of our children. Let me bring this up to end the show. Some of these things, massage, Reiki, and stuff like that. Do these things, are they effective with children as well?
Yes, for sure. Reiki, energy healing, is beautiful for all. I've even helped plants come back to life with energy healing. And so I'm sure probably Karen has some fun stories about that too. I kind of have a black thumb, but with energy healing, it's really helpful. So, I mean, yes, children love it. Pets love it. Energy is just incredible. I mean, that's what we are made of. And so when you channel that love through, that can, change world.
Absolutely. Danette is saying that now that large institutions such as Duke are integrating holistic healing, maybe that will help. I certainly hope so. I mean, there has been, everybody from Duke to Johns Hopkins to a lot of other places have done incredible studies, and they come out with wonderful results. And I fear that, like you said, follow the money. If Big Pharma is not going to make money, then nobody's going to want to do it. But there are so many options out there. We want to bring you those options. We want to take advantage of this platform that we have here to make sure we bring you things that we want you to try. The worst thing you could have is contempt without investigation. So many people are just like, they shoot things down. They become judgmental about, oh, that's just stupid. That doesn't work. Did you try it? Did you put an effort into it to see if it does work? Because don't come and talk to me about massage doesn't work if you didn't have a massage. Don't talk to me about Reiki doesn't work if you didn't sit with a Reiki master, not just with anybody. But, just because your friend Bob puts his hand over your head and you don't feel anything doesn't mean it doesn't. Because, Bob was just holding a beer for the last hour. He doesn't know what the hell he's doing. These are things you have to investigate. Don't just have contempt prior to investigation. Try things. You just might be amazed, because the things that I did not believe 10 years ago, I believe now. And what I believe today, I might not believe tomorrow, because things are always changing. There's always something new to learn. That's what we're encouraging people to do. We're not saying you got to like everything we talk about or you got to do everything we talk about, but boy, at least try it. Have you had those moments, Kelly, before we wrap up, where somebody tries something for the first time and you could see them just light up?
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to answer your second part of your question before I get to that too. That
Please do.
Yes, children can have massages. They just need to have a parent present and sign off on the paperwork. But yes, massage for our children is absolutely incredible. Yes. Let's get our children into having massages and energy healing and these kinds of things so that they don't, grow up and be adults that have never experienced them before. And then that leads me into my share about, people who have never experienced massage before. I had one story really stand out to me. He was probably in his 60s and he had never had a massage before. He worked in the office building where I was practicing. And he finally told me that he finally got the courage to, go through and schedule an appointment with me for massage. And he came out of that massage and he looked so relaxed and calm. And he said to me, I don't know why I waited.
Yeah.
I don't know why I waited. I feel so good right now. And that it's like heartbreaking and heartwarming at the same time, because we all have these like hang-ups about different things. And when you really like face your fears sometimes and try something, it might just be one of the best things that you ever did for yourself.
Absolutely. Kelli, it's been a blast as always.
Thank you.
I love doing this show with you, and I love bringing new ideas to people and new information. And I want to thank everybody who came out and joined us tonight.
Yes,
and those people who are watching the reruns, please make sure that you like the show and that you leave a comment for us and share it with your people. And and if there's something you would like us to address, something you'd like us to talk about, just because we're not practitioners in everything, we still do understand certain things, and we can do some research, and we can even bring people into our show. If you've got a skill or a talent, especially in holistic medicine or alternative medicine or any kind of the healing arts, if you've got some specialty, we'd love to have you on the show and talk to you about it. And I know a lot of people in the area. I got a couple. I know some acupuncturists and chiropractors who would love to share some information. So we'll do that too, right?
Yeah, that'll be fun.
That'll be great.
Thank you, everybody, for being here.
Thank you so much. And in the meantime, I want to thank Addiction Training Center, ATC Partners, and Quinn Broadcasting for being our sponsors and taking care of us. For now, I want to thank everybody for taking their time, and remind everybody that if you want to have a good day, do something nice for somebody else and 2 things nice for yourself, and you could never have a bad day doing that.
Beautiful.
There we go. For the Holistic Evolution, see, and I did it that time, Evolution. Okay. For the Holistic Evolution podcast with Scott and Kelli, thanks for joining us. We'll catch you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.
Love you guys.